Well, everyone, it is March 2nd. The first bracketology update from ESPN for this month is here. I'm ready to break it down for you all. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys are really excited as we get much closer to March Madness. We've had some more interesting things happen over the course of the past few days. So let's get right to it. Here are the bubble teams first. I want to go through the last four byes. Louisville, Connecticut, now in under the last four byes. They've been improving lately. VCU and Boise State. Last four in. These are the two of the four playing games. Drake versus Seton Hall. Xavier versus Georgia Tech. That's going to be a very interesting game. We have some good matchups here. First four out. Michigan State literally on the cusp right now of missing the tournament. They're like right there. They're like literally one spot out pretty much, it seems like. Duke, IU, Utah State, two Big Ten teams right there. My goodness, this is something. Next four out, St. Louis, SMU, Syracuse. After that win against North Carolina, I don't think Syracuse should be here. That's a little biased, but Syracuse does not look great this year at all, but watch it somehow sneak into the tournament and be really stupid, in my opinion. Memphis in the next four outs. So we have a lot to go through still. I mean, conference tournament time is going to be something to remember. And I will have an announcement on conference tournament stuff at the very end of this video, but just wait and see on that. So let's quickly go to the regions. No movement in the top two regions, Region 1 and 2. Michigan's now the number one seed in Region 2. We have a lot of moving up and down in Region 1. Missouri down to an 8 seed. They fell a lot. Wisconsin's down to a 6. UConn to a 10. Iowa back up to the worst number 2 seed. Illinois is a 1 seed. Keep in mind they lost to Michigan State. I don't know about them being a 1 seed, though. I don't know. I hope they're not a 1 seed, personally, because the pressure's going to be on them. They've been a 1 seed before in the tournament, but it's been a while since they've been in the tournament. And they got some pressure, I'm sure, on them, because they at times look like I don't know. It's hard to explain with them. Ohio State down to a 2. Oklahoma State in Region 4 is a 4 seed. They swept Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, if they end up getting the appealing date going before the tournament they play, I think, but if it's after, they don't. I feel like they're going to get screwed over or something. I don't know. Oklahoma State is a team that could make a decent run. Cade Cunningham's been really just on point this year. One of the best guards in the country, /forwards. He's a double position person. Creighton up to a 5. Maryland up to an 8. Maryland beat Michigan State recently. Oklahoma State. USC fell to a 6. Navy back on here. Do we have anyone else that made the list on here? South Dakota State's back on here. Those are the two newest entries, I should say, but they've been on here before. All right, to the picks. Here we go. Gonzaga's going to win the first game, and I got Missouri beating Rutgers. Rutgers just lost to Nebraska. What? What is happening? Missouri, I know they haven't looked great either, but Jesus, Nebraska sucks. Purdue, I think they'll like this matchup against Western Kentucky. Here's the thing. Purdue does have size to throw at Western Kentucky. Charles Bassey. Charles Bassey is going to be one of the biggest focus points, of course, with Purdue's attack on defense, because Charles Bassey is, of course, Western Kentucky's best player. Without him, they're practically not a whole lot. I mean, they got a decent supporting cast, but when you take Charles Bassey out, when you try to get him out of the equation, Western Kentucky really ain't a whole lot, to be honest. Western Kentucky's dangerous, though. They can upset Purdue. I'm going to take Purdue, though. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a coin flip, honestly. That's an upset for sure. Texas, I'm surprised Texas is a 4 seed. They have not looked great offensively. Absolutely. This team offensively has been terrible, and then defensively they've been worse. They've been letting teams get down the court on the fast break with Texas Tech. If you watch the game as Texas Tech's been stealing the ball from them. Texas is just a cluster right now. They are definitely turning into more of a hot mess than a hot team overall. That's not good. And I'll take VCU to upset Tennessee. Tennessee just has been absolutely everywhere this year. VCU's been a little strange lately. I'm not so sure. That's a very strange matchup, too. Got some interesting games in Region 1. Got Kansas over Eastern Washington. Kansas has just beat Baylor. Yeah, We'll get to Baylor here in a minute. Kansas is on a hot streak right now a bit. They're kind of picking things back up. I did say, though, that way early on, if they were to kind of tighten things down, which they are right now, that they will be better off for sure. I got Connecticut beating Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, I know they bombed Wake Forest, but Wake Forest is Wake Forest. They're not that good, okay? So Iowa over Grand Canyon. No. Pick Iowa. Gonzaga, Missouri. Missouri could push Gonzaga. Gonzaga hasn't had a challenge in a while. They got pushed by Santa Clara for the love of God. So Missouri could push Gonzaga a little bit. I think Gonzaga will get pushed in this tournament a little bit for sure. But I'm sure they'll handle it. I don't know, though. Them being the best number 1 seed, that's going to add some extra pressure. So keep that in mind when you're doing your brackets overall in a couple weeks. Being undefeated, if they're undefeated at this point, which I think they will be, and then being the best number 1 overall seed, that's going to put some pressure on them for sure. And I'm gonna go Purdue. I'm gonna get risky here and pick Purdue because Purdue's been playing better, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Purdue's had some bad losses this year. I don't know if you want to call them bad losses. I mean, losing to Minnesota wasn't great. I know that the second time around. Maryland, they split with Maryland. Maryland's been tough. Can't really say that's a bad loss. I mean, Maryland's not the greatest, but they just VCU and Kansas. This could be an upset. I'm not sure. Kansas. We know the deal with Kansas in the tournament. They could be funny. But Kansas has been playing better defense. Kansas was in total control of the game against Baylor on Saturday. But, I mean, Baylor was coming off a COVID pause, and they haven't looked great either. Most teams coming off of COVID pauses have looked terrible in the first week at least, the first few games. Connecticut versus Iowa. Connecticut could push Iowa a little bit, but Iowa's been playing better lately. They've been playing better defense. They were able to size up on Ohio State. Ohio State's got a weakness there with being able to defend big guys. They can't really quite do it. It seems like that's going to be something to watch out for with them too. Gonzaga, Purdue, there's just no way. Purdue's beating Gonzaga. They're not an offensive powerhouse for starters. Iowa and Kansas. Oof. This is going to be interesting if we get this game because Kansas. You have the best defensive player, Marcus Garrett. He could shut down whoever he's guarding. Iowa's proven that their guard play can be weak. You never know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. Iowa has slipped at times this year. And I don't know, man. I'm really thinking about picking Kansas. But you know what? I'm going to go with my gut instinct to pick Kansas. I know I've been bashing Kansas lately. I know I have. It's just, like I said, things change. Opinions will change. I know. You can't stick to one thing the whole time. It depends. With certain teams, you just can't stick to one opinion. It's just, if it changes so much, if it changes to a certain extent, it's like, okay, they're not quite as good or whatever. I mean, it's a toss-up. I could go with Iowa, but I don't know. Iowa has proven to struggle at times, too. So, but I got to go with Gonzaga to beat Kansas. Although I could see Kansas beating Gonzaga. They have already played once, and Kansas could beat them. I'm a little bit higher in Kansas right now, believe it or not. Let's go to Region 4. But yeah, just to finish about Kansas, I kind of had a trough, and then it's kind of going back up with them a little bit, in my opinion. So, Illinois over the playing game. Illinois needs to have assuming back. I know they've proven that their backups they're proven to be good. But they can only keep that up for so long, I think. San Diego State I think San Diego State is a dangerous team. They should be seeded slightly higher if they win the Mountain West, absolutely. San Diego State's won like 10 straight. They've swept Boise State. They've looked really good. I mean, this team is dangerous. Colorado versus Xavier, Georgia Tech. Colorado beat USC, but I'm still not buying them. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I think Colorado... That Pac-12 conference is just not strong, man. It's just I don't see a real dominant team. USC was showing it, but then they're kind of. Xavier defended well against Creighton. Georgia Tech, that'd be a physical 12 seed game. 12 first 4 game. I'm gonna take the upset actually here. I know it's. Some of you could be like, well, Colorado just beat UCLA. UCLA hasn't shown me much either this year. They've shown me that they have been weak at times. And they cannot keep consistency at all. Xavier, I feel like I'm getting shade to 2017 Xavier. 2016-17 Xavier, where they lose one of their players and then they go on this run. Yeah, I'm feeling that coming from them a little bit. I don't know why. I'm like, really? Is what it is. Oklahoma State really playing good basketball. Caleb, the Boone brothers, their whole team is playing so much. They're just continuing to just really build that machine. Cunningham's scoring like Cunningham's just really good. I can't believe how I don't know what to say. USC versus Drake Seton Hall. USC's been dropping lately. I don't know what's going on with this team. Utah beat them. That was alarming. Drake, of course, no Roman Penn. They're not going to have him. They're missing another key player. Seton Hall, they've been struggling. I think USC scrapes by here, but that's not going to be easy. Houston has played so well right now. They're back on their machine, I think, a little bit, but I still need to see just a little bit more. Once we get past the AAC tournament, if they can win the AAC, I will feel even better about them. At that point, my opinion is going to stand where it is. I'm not quite exactly where I was earlier in the season with them, but it's closer. North Carolina, you go and beat Florida State, and then you lose to Syracuse. That makes no damn sense. How are you going to go to Florida State, or wherever it was? How are you going to beat down 17 at FSU, and somehow beat them, and then you're going to turn around and lose to the Orange? All right, moving on. Alabama's going to beat Cleveland State. North Carolina, come on, man. They lost to Marquette, too, before FSU. Let's just also throw that out there, too. Upset alert possibly here. San Diego State, they defend well. They can shoot the ball well. But Illinois, I just think if Illinois puts it together, they are much better than what some people think. I know they've been looking more overrated, but here's the thing, though. Got to keep in mind, Michigan State was in danger. I think that's the same point you can make about North Carolina, honestly, because they are on the cusp of missing the tournament for potentially, possibly, they're a 10th seed and whatnot. They're not in the last four bye section and stuff. It's like with Michigan State. They're kind of like down there, kind of like, we're kind of close to that threshold. We need to kind of really pick it up. So desperation starts arising and stuff like that. Michigan State just was like, we need to get it back together, but they just lost to Maryland. So, I don't know what to say there. Xavier, I think Xavier could be Georgia Tech. Xavier versus Oklahoma State could be a better game than what some people think. With the defensive effort of Xavier, they defend the three well. I still think Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham is such a difference maker. If you watch him play, he just does everything, it seems like. He's got size. He moves fast. He's kind of like Magic. I don't want to say Magic Johnson on the court, but they have a similar size. It's just Cade Cunningham does a lot for this team. I just can't believe it. He's amazing to watch. Houston over USC. I could see North Carolina upsetting Alabama, but North Carolina's been really too befuddling this year. I just can't see it happening. Alabama, defensively, they let up some points. That's my biggest problem with this team. They do defend shots well overall, but they still let up some points. They score a bunch. I'm not discounting Alabama, don't get me wrong. Illinois, Oklahoma State, listen. This would be something to remember, I feel like. You get that vibe of like, this could be something to remember if you get a matchup like this. But I think the experience with Illinois kind of carries through. I know people are going to be like, you just knocked out Illinois in the Sweet 16. Well, here's the thing. It's all about the matchup. In Oklahoma State, I just think Oklahoma State's going to eventually run out of gas like Oklahoma is right now. Houston, Alabama. Houston defends really well on the inside, so Alabama's going to want to shoot a bunch of threes. And Houston can defend the three. Houston's one of the best defenses in the country for a reason. That's why I am taking Houston in the upset. Now, I had this matchup last time in my bracket. Illinois. Again, Illinois has the potential to get far. We know that. But Houston, if we get this matchup, it's going to be something to remember, too, because, I don't know, I'm not sure. Ooh, it's tempting. It's tempting to pick Houston. I don't know. I've had that gut feeling about Illinois all year. I had a conversation with somebody in the comments on the last video about, like Houston will probably lose 99 times out of 100 Michigan State, which is true. I think Michigan State could beat Houston. Just depends. Illinois would be, Houston doesn't stand a chance against Illinois. Could be the case, honestly. You never know what you're going to get with these matchups. But there's something about, I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know who to pick here. You know what? I'm going to go Houston just for now because Illinois, I just needed to kind of get back on their feet. I know they did against Nebraska and stuff. They got the huge win against Wisconsin. You know what? No, I'm going to change that pick. I'm going Illinois to the Final Four. I'm going with the pick there. They overcame Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a defensive team. Don't forget that. Michigan, Texas State. We've been going on like a thing there for Illinois, Houston, losing track. Loyola over UCLA. Loyola, one of the better defenses in the country. Oklahoma, Toledo. Oklahoma's been falling off lately. That's going to be something to watch too. We'll see that they got talent, but they've been kind of slacking lately. Virginia, Winthrop, Virginia. You all know my opinion on Virginia, but I'm going to pick them to beat Winthrop. I think they could beat Winthrop in the first round. Wisconsin, I got to pick them to beat Boise State. Boise State's been kind of losing some games I really don't like to see them losing lately. I just not really like it. Villanova. Oh my gosh. And I got a comment saying Villanova's better. How are they better? Tell me, because you got blown up by Creighton last week and you beat St. John's. Okay, look, you do. St. John's is kind of there, I guess, in the whatever you want to call it. Then I think I saw probably the worst loss by this team on Sunday. I know, Jesus, dude. Not only lost to Butler. Butler was down a starter, and Villanova was 2 of 27 from the 3. Villanova is better? No, they're not. But I'm still taking them to beat South Dakota State. Villanova is overrated right now. I really think they're overrated. That Big East is wide open, honestly. Every conference seems wide open this year. It's more wide open than in recent years, it seems like. Clemson, St. Bonaventure. I'm not so sure who to pick here. I personally am a little stuck on who to pick because I think I'll go with the defensive team in Clemson. St. Bonaventure's been kind of letting up a little bit lately. They just lost to Dayton last night. It was a red flag for me. West Virginia over Siena. West Virginia a 2 seed. Michigan, Loyola. Michigan can get pushed, but Michigan's size has been really just something this year. They've been a force to be reckoned with. Let's put it that way. Oklahoma versus Virginia. What do we pick here? I'll go with Oklahoma. They score better. And I don't like that pick, but Wisconsin could be Villanova because of the defensive effort. Villanova's been kind of going the other way lately. Yeah, I know. I've been talking a lot of crap on Wisconsin, but, it's all about the matchup. That's what it is. And Wisconsin, they were pushing Illinois. I got to give them that, West Virginia over Clemson. Michigan, Oklahoma. I got to take Michigan. West Virginia, Wisconsin. I'm going to go West Virginia, and that's a very interesting game. Now, West Virginia, how are you going to contain the size of Michigan? West Virginia's got size of their own, but I just feel like Michigan's got it. I feel like they got it this year. I don't know. I feel like they're a lock for the Final Four, but can't say that. Because some strange things do happen in the tournament. All right, we need to speed this up. I'm going on like a long time here. Baylor over James Madison. Maryland, I think, will beat Oregon. Why was I saying something about Oregon could be a threat to make a deeper run? No, they have not beaten a lot of good teams this year. They have looked kind of garbage at times. But historically, Oregon's been good in the tournament, but I'm just not seeing it this year. I think Creighton could beat Wichita State. What the? I'm going to have to fix that for the next one. All right, Creighton, though. Creighton just... We got to go through this again. Okay. I do not think... I don't know. Wichita State, though, that's a tough one. Arkansas, Belmont. Arkansas has been really good this year. Could be a threat to win the SEC. Texas Tech over Colorado State. Want to win my Texas Tech. A great defensive effort by Texas Tech, stealing the ball away from Texas overall. But Texas has been kind of in a fluster lately, so I'm not. It's a very good win, but Texas has been kind of downhill lately. So still not 100% on Texas Tech though. After that 3-game skid they had there. Florida, Louisville. I'm gonna go Florida. Louisville's just been whatever. Ohio State. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I was gonna say about Baylor. Yeah, Baylor lost their first game of the season. They have not looked great, and I can see an upset here. Maryland defends well on the outside, but I just feel like Baylor does enough, and does just enough. Speaking, it's hard. Arkansas over Creighton. Texas Tech, Florida State. Florida State, that loss against North Carolina is bothering me. I'm not even gonna lie, but Texas Tech. I don't know, man. I'm not really too big on them on a deep run this year. I don't know why. They could definitely make the upset here. But Florida State's so well coached. I don't know what it is. But they got some young guys on their team. Oh, I hate to do this. I really do. I don't want to do it, but I have to. I'm sorry. I think it's because of the fact that Florida State has guys on that team that have not been in the tournament yet, and it's a lot of young guys on that team. I don't know. I'm just changing things up. That's all I'm doing. Don't hate me on me for picking Texas Tech over FSU. It's just Texas Tech. They play that defense. They're going to go decently far. They have to keep what they did up against Texas. Man, I'm going to get hate for that in the comments. Ohio State over Florida. And I'm going to go Arkansas over Baylor. Arkansas will beat Baylor. Guaranteed if Baylor plays like they did against Kansas. Arkansas can play defense. They can block shots. We saw that against Alabama. Texas Tech and Ohio State. I don't know, man. Ohio State, they have trouble guarding big players like Hunter Dickinson and Luka Garza. Texas Tech has some size. I mean, that's going to be an interesting game. Texas Tech, though, can manipulate your raw. You know what? We're going to blow this region up at this point. We're in that direction already. And then I'm going with Arkansas to the Final Four. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for that FSU Texas Tech pick. But, I mean, it's... Like I said, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do that pick. Gonzaga and Illinois, I still think... I'm going to go Gonzaga. Illinois, I think at the moment at their best, they can get to the Final Four. And then I'm going to go Michigan to beat Arkansas. I would love to see this national championship game. And I'm going to go with Michigan to beat Gonzaga. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. It's a little bit longer than I would have liked it to be. Yeah, it was kind of long. I was going on some tangents there with some games. But... before, one more thing, starting today, later tonight, I'm going to record the first of 10 videos over the span of a week doing conference tournament predictions. You will see which conferences I predict later tonight, but I will tell you the first one I'm doing tonight, it's the A10. Their tournament starts tomorrow. We are getting so much closer to March Madness. I'll see you guys again soon.